Good morning, everyone. I'm going to try to capture a live trade today for you. It's been a little while, but it's been an absolute crazy market. It's a Friday. Figure may as well try to do something small here with a one-lot lesson. If you've been paying attention this week, obviously you know there's been some madness in the marketplace, so we're just going to try to play it a little bit more conservatively here headed into the weekend. The initial idea I'm seeing is a fade potentially in the ES down towards the overnight low. If we can get there in this 15-minute candle, I'm certainly interested in going long around here. 2 standard deviation VWAP is there, -3 is there. Ideally, the tick would also slam lower into like -1,000 or something, but we'll see what happens, right? Going to use the micros to sort of keep risk a little bit lower, right, headed into the week, but we're just going to scan, as always, for some setups, and I'll keep you updated. So I've got some Netflix puts loaded up. I am going to be trading this week's expiration, aka they're expiring today. Going to need to be pretty quick with it, and the flush point here, I like it. I'm going to hop in there at 4:15. We're going to float an order out. Probably, let's see, where does it put us if we go to, let's say, 450? Okay, I guess the spread was so wide that we got filled at the 450 on that next little, push seconds later. That's not really what I wanted to see. Ideally, we would have gotten a little more out of this, but $36 on the day, you can see there in, what was that? Just a few seconds. So, I always like to float those orders out and then kind of adjust them. Again, probably didn't account for high enough implied volatility, trading a contract that expires today. So let's just check it out on monitor. You can see here, 10-second, less than a 10-second trade, 942.35, 942.43, and that was that. So not ideal. I'm going to continue to see if I can get another trade in here on the markets. I don't want to chase it now that the flush point has broken. We'll check out some other stuff, and I'll keep you updated. So we are starting to see the MES fade potentially set up. If we do come into that overnight low, you can see I have an alert here. I was just looking at some other stuff, but if we can truly come into that overnight low, you can see we got a -1,000 tick. Ideally, it would be even worse than that. If we can get there, I'm really liking this trade actually. So 3 pretty aggressive red candles in a row. Volume starting to lighten up a little bit. Of course, we did just start a new candle and we're pretty fresh into it. But you can see ticks here starting to go. Let's actually just flip over to the futures broker here. We'll lose our internal screen at least on the recording here, but we'll be okay. Maybe what I'll do actually is just pop this out. Let's see if we can do that. Detach. So we have the tick. I just moved that off screen for a second. If we come into here, and we'll put our tick over here just to see what's kind of going on. Zoom in a little bit so we can stay aware of the tick, but also catch the potential move in the futures account here. Let's see. So starting to bounce out of the -1,000 area. Again, don't want to get caught on the wrong side of this one if it does start to go. So really waiting for the stronger negative tick and probably a move lower than our current low of day. If we get one more flush down, that's probably going to be it, and I'll be in a trade. But for now, just kind of waiting. I'll keep you updated. Okay, down here in the bottom left, you can see that the tick is around -800. That's good for us. Okay, there's the flush of the low of day. Let's see if we push one more time hard low. And again, that'll sort of signal our entry point. Already fading right. Wow, look at that. That was way faster than I thought it would happen. Let's see if we get down there again. You know what? For the sake of the video, I will take one long here at the market. We'll click buy market. We're in at 26. We'll take it off at 28, just a little bit higher. Definitely willing to add to this position just based on what the market's doing. We'll put our first ads out here underneath low of day, so our average is much lower. We'll look at 19. Again, that's approaching closer to, that's definitely under the overnight low, and it is better, and closer to that -3 standard deviation VWAP. Ideally, we would just get out of this trade quickly for a quick 2 points. Again, on a micro contract, we're looking at like $10, but if you're trading the ES, that's a quick $100 bill in your pocket. So we'll see what happens. If we get another contract, that would be great. It would help us out to get out quicker. Let's see if we can pick one up at 2350. See if it wants to flush a little bit lower. Again, this is kind of how you do these fades. You just kind of, you add as you, it's really all about market feel, right? You add as the market feels like it's coming into a bottom, and you have to have an account that's large enough to really support a move like this. So trying to get a fill here. There we go. Now we have 2 contracts on. I'll just put them here, and I will now average them. So we had 24.75. We'll now just make that 26.75. And this is kind of how I just, move in and out of positions quickly. So we'll see what happens. Still going to wait to see if we can get, something on closer down here. Not really concerned with size yet, especially considering these are MESs, not the big boy contract. So looks like they're trying to bounce it a little bit. This is, again, good for our fill here. Because we're working with 2 contracts now, we get $20. Yay. Looks like we might be able to put on some more size, which is a good thing. Let's try to get a couple more on. We'll go with 5 if we can tag 319. Again, that's looking like it's closer to that area in there, closer to the 3 standard deviation. Looks like they're trying to bounce it now. So again, I mean, with larger size, your profit becomes bigger. And this is more of one of those high probability trades. You can see I'm not really fishing for much here. It's just kind of how these go. So I'll keep you updated if we get a fill or, one direction or another, whether or not it's a profit or another ad. Trying to bounce it. Let's see if we can get up to that 37.26 mark. That's where we're going to be out for, again, a nice little $20 ad on the day. Yay, we made $50 today live on screen, which I guess that'd be a cool thing. So let's see if they can get it there. They're certainly trying. Hopefully it doesn't run out of steam. Little push. Come on. And just like that, we're all out. Now, because I only had 2 contracts on, I just took them off there. But typically with what you want to do with a fade is if you have more than 1 on, typically sizes of like 3 contracts or 5 contracts, you take 3 off at the initial target and you make your $20 on the 3 of them, and then you just trail stop the rest, right, to break even. That way the trade doesn't turn into a loser. So, I mean, could we have captured some more money here? Absolutely, but it's like I said, it's a Friday, it's the afternoon, we're in and out quick here, and with that, I'm just going to be done for the day, actually. So I'm going to cancel all these orders. I forget if we did the recap on GameStop, so I'm going to do that now. So I always try to leave some sort of educational bit with these one-lot lessons. So with Netflix, I just wanted to recap quickly a little something about implied volatility, right? If you don't know what's normal on the stock that you're trading, like if I come over to our trade tab and go into the chain, you can see that our implied volatility, this column right here on puts, we're hovering right around that 23 mark. This morning it was much higher, closer to 33, somewhere in there, about 10 percentage points higher. So if you don't know what's normal, what you can do is just go on Google and type in implied volatility rank study for Thinkorswim. You get this thing down here in the bottom left, and all it's going to do is just give you a better sense of what's normal and what's not. So here's where we were, right? The past trading a couple months of trading, all the way back to early or late November. As earnings comes up, of course, you're going to get an increase in implied volatility, but after the number comes out, you generally go back down. That's exactly what we saw, but with everything that happened in the market on Wednesday, we got a pretty big uptick in implied volatility. So that's how I knew, I knew in hindsight, of course, that implied volatility was higher, but that obviously didn't correlate to the actual trade. If we remember, I got out in just fractions of a second with the spread. The other thing I want to point out is if you are trading options, I didn't have this up today. I tried to make it easier in terms of editing out my account number here. But when the level 2 is up, it really is helpful, right? If I saw that on the ask, I would have been filled instantly on a downtick in Netflix at the 350, or excuse me, the 450. I may have moved it a little bit higher in terms of where we were on the ladder, and then fine-tuned from there. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have gotten still only a piece of the move. I'm not saying I would have nailed the top or anything like that, but it always helps to have a little bit more information when you're trading. So a little tip for you is to always have the actual options level 2 pulled up. You can see the bid-ask spread. You can see where you may get filled on any sort of down or uptick. If you're playing puts and Netflix is actually ticking higher, you're probably going to get filled closer to the bid. If you're trying to exit and get out of your option and Netflix is ticking down, because we're looking at puts, you're probably going to get filled closer to the ask, okay? So it's always something that you might want to have up on your screen. I know it helps me out a bunch. I was just trying to take a shortcut with editing out an account number. Again, not trying to say that I would have nailed the top, but it's just a little piece of advice I can pass on to you. With that, I am going to wrap up the video. Again, managed to make $50 on live trades today, one lot less than Fridays. So with that, if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything new, feel free to let me know down below in the comments section or by simply leaving the video a thumbs up. And I hope to see you at the weekly watch list coming out on Sunday.